Oh, this book. I don't know what it's about. Old kids book. They can be fucking brutal. Okay, this is The Wonderful Adventures of Niles, and this is the Osa the Goose Girl and Little Mats chapter, 85% done, where it's the second half, and we've heard all the stuff that's happened with them. They are they decide to go to try and find their father. They go to the cabin and they find it in flames. We know how the flames happened. That was one of the earlier adventures of Niles. They hear that the father is maybe up in the mining area, so they're going up. They're going up that way. They stop at a house and they tell the old woman all that's happened. She stuffs them full of goodies. Says, "Could you go off to my brother's house, which is just the next one over, and tell them the story?" So they do this, and they get fed well there. And then that person says, "Go to this person here, and tell them your story," and they get fed there. So they're all very well treated. And as they go, they spread the news about hygiene, about how you need to wash things, burn stuff for, if people have got the illness. So they're spreading a kind of a way of combating illness, which is contrasted with, there was a story of with the bubonic plague, the Black Death, that there was a little girl and little boy that would wander the countryside. The boy with a rake, which would take some of the, if it was the boy raking in front of your house, that meant some would die, but not everybody, because that's what a rake does. But if it's the little girl with the broom, everyone would die, because it would sweep the whole place clean. Contrast this with Osa and Little Mats, and they're sending kind of things to help everybody survive in a way. Okay, you've got one person, but you can contain it with hygiene, with disposing of bed sheets and stuff like that, kind of a science-based thing. So there's that, and it's like, wow, that's really heartwarming. And then Little Mats is fucking dead. He was by a mine. They set off an explosion. He got hit by a rock, and he's dead. Yeah, and it's very matter of fact, very just click, he's dead. Thank you. Thank you. Selma Lagerlof. You're a hard one. You're a hard children's book author. It's like, fuck. And Osa is beside herself with grief. She shuts herself up in the cabin. It's like, how am I going to how can I live without my little brother? It's like, how am I going to manage? I don't even know where my father is. And she has a dream saying, like, the next person you meet will tell you, will help you find your father. And that at that point, there's a knock on the door. And because it was, Niles and Akka who discovered Little Mats and called down to the miners to get him up, they also know where she is. Thimbletaught Niles goes to visit her. She opens the door. She's kind of half awake, so she's not immediately frightened, and tells her in a few words where her father is. Then she comes fully awake and is super terrified that she's talking to an elf, because it's a supernatural creature of obviously up to no good. And so she slams the door in Niles' face. She sees a brief flash of pain across his face when she does this, but how can she do it any otherwise? So as she did that, she thought she saw an expression of pain flash across the elf's face, but she could not help what she did, for she was beside herself with fright. She crept into bed as quickly as she could and drew the covers overhead. Although she was afraid of the elf, she had a feeling that he meant well by her, so the next day she made haste to do as he had told her. So in the kind of half-dream state, she's at least able to take in the message. But it's just like, God damn it, this book is brutal. But it's also, I'm just really impressed by how Osa and Little Mats have been this continuing weave throughout this story. We've met them at various places along the story. Niles had the whole adventure in that cabin, accidentally set it on fire, and burst out of the thing, scares them coming up on it, and then goes off on his own adventure. And now we come back to them, and we're hearing their story as they're going. We hear their origins, and here's the last time they met Niles, and maybe also kind of explains some of the fear that she has. The last time she saw a little creature, it was running out of the burning their burning family home, former family home. So, you know, there's an explanation there. So I guess hats off to Selmer Lagerlof, but also, Jesus Christ, just brutal. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.